Good afternoon and happy time zone to every human on the planet who actually gives a damn and is coming to talk to me and Jim. Sorry for being late. We were at the pub. I'm just going to leave it at
that. Yes, we were. I tell you what, the sunshine in the UK, it's 34 degrees at the moment, so it's like, hey, we're on holiday, but we're actually in central Birmingham. So it's a bit like it's a bit of a juxtaposition. But everyone might have watched the Commonwealth Games, and then you can see it's a nice place to sit outside and have a drink.
Jim is also horribly wrong.
What is it? Is it? Oh, it's too. Is it because it's too? Oh, you hate cold, don't you?
No, I love cold. I hate hot. And more importantly, where the hell is there somewhere nice to sit in Birmingham outside for a bit?
Well, where we were, that's all right. There's fountains and stuff outside.
Just to be completely fair, me and Luke were sweaty messes.
But I like hot stuff.
Hello.
Some hot stuff.
Anyway, welcome to Tech Off Topic. I'm Mike Elsmore, and this is Jim Seconde.
Hello, I'm Jim Seconde.
And we are doing our normal tangential rant on stuff. We actually have, as usual, an amount of topics, and I'm pretty sure that. Oh my god,
we have lots of topics, but I've just plonked them in there, and I have done no prep. I don't know what any of the tech is. Most of these things have just been barked at me by my team in Vonage on Twitter, so I have no idea what to expect. But one thing I have on there, I'm going to enjoy much later.
So we're doing live research.
Like a mixture of like that, isn't that what makes it kind of haphazard and makes it amusing? Is the fact that we have like let's be honest, let's call a spade a spade. Like neither of us know what we're doing.
That's the second time you've said that today as well. God's sake!
I think I said that on the last time we did one.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Cat's out of the bag.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, where should we start this time around? Do we? You know what? Screw it. Because I want to start on the light-hearted side of things. Purely because I'm also hot and melty, and I'm wearing a hat of somebody's swag that I picked up this week, Dr. Dynamite. It's a Tyrannosaurus skull with a stethoscope and one of the silvery...
takes notes. If you watch this back, Richard, who is my director at Vonage of Devrel, who is obsessed with dinosaurs. Free plug there for that. It's quite cool. Dr.
Dynamite, who is / was a Twitch streamer. He's the only proof that I have this intelligence in the north.
Wow, that's what's the? Is there an in the chat room, by the way? Because if there isn't, there'll be the comments will started already.
No, the only people in the chat currently are Swedish.
Okay,
so we are fine.
So they won't understand the general kind of slating of various places in the UK.
I really hope not. So anyway, yes. So moving on, I want to start with the CEO.
I added this last minute, and it's just when you get something that happens on social media, and it just spawns the best kind of a whole subgenre of tweets and of like memes, and you have to be on it. So I added the crying CEO on LinkedIn. I've only read the genuine LinkedIn post that he put on there. He's American, isn't he?
Yes. I think.
To be clear, we're about to go through a worldwide recession, and people losing their jobs is not funny. So I have a terrible sense of humor. It's very Schadenfreude. So, but a chief executive posting, he's obviously one of these chief executives. You know what they're like. The real sort of like, I'm an influencer. And then if you ask them if they're an influencer, they say, no, man, I just post the truth.
I think that's the very core of being a LinkedIn influencer, though, isn't it?
But LinkedIn has started becoming a fantastic kind of comedy goldmine, hasn't it? Like in the last maybe 2 years, it started off with that recruitment agency that sent all the lads to Ibiza, and they did a promo video for it, and it was just like 10 lads in like white suits, and the only like women that you saw in it were like basically serving drinks. It was like, if you want to do a bad parody of the recruitment, like the recruitment industry, this was it.
Yeah. Do we need any more toxic masculinity in the recruitment industry?
We've got enough of it.
Yeah.
So this chief executive, I don't know what it is. I don't know. I only looked at what his company was.
I haven't seen that either.
He had to do layoffs and instead of come on, can I find the picture of it? Instead of like, he pretended that he was making it about his employees, but he then made it about him, where he was, this is the most heartfelt thing that I'll ever post, which is already become a sort of parody of LinkedIn that they.
Yep.
And like, I took this picture. Someone commented on this saying, I wonder how many pictures he took of himself before he got the right one.
Like, how many times does this small child have to kick him in the shin for him to get the correct reaction?
He's chopped loads of onions and rubbed them in his eyes.
How do you feel about your employees? Look at my Lamborghini.
Actually, this ties in very. I've been watching. Some friends of ours have been telling my wife and I, insisting that we watch The American Office, and I've been putting it off for ages because I know that the start of it was based on the British Office, and then gradually, as time goes on, that Gervais and Merchant sort of said, "Do you know what? Just do it." And it's the writer of Parks and Rec.
Yes,
and this ties in really nicely with Steve Carell's character of what he's like. The sort of we just watched the episode, and I remember that it was based on the plotline from the British one, where he has to sack someone for budgetary reasons, and is such a coward that he actually can't. That's the LinkedIn CEO. He's like, it's not my fault I had to sack people, and now I'm crying because I love them so much. Just, do you know what would be better? Don't say anything at all.
Did you actually read the post?
I did, and it was very, very cringeworthy.
But the only thing I will say there is a correction. He did actually own up to the it being his fault.
Yes, he did. He started off by saying, like, I take ownership of this and I made a bad decision. Yes. Didn't he? Which is fair enough. You are slightly wrong there. He actually does, because most CEOs don't realize, like, but it's not our fault the economy's going to take a shit board. No, it's your fault you made a bad business decision, and now you're wanting people to pity you for having to lay people off because of your poor decision. Okay, there's a bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Not recompense. Why is that in my head? There's some salvation in there. It's not all bad.
No. So just to correct you, he did take ownership. However, there is my tears are genuine. I'll never be able to wash in gold again. I'll never be able to take it. This is the hardest decision I'll ever take in my life. If you plan on being a chief executive, I should hope it's not. I'm sure you'll have to do worse. So the complete tech off topic tangent that this reminded me of. Have you put a link to the actual thing, by the way? Like for the LinkedIn post?
Yeah.
No.
Has he deleted it?
No, I'm not. Because the problem is, what I'd actually want to do is find the ones that are mocking him afterwards. Like,
oh yeah, there's loads.
There's hundreds.
And I saw one of those, and I didn't really get it at first. And I thought, this is a bit weird. And as it went on, I thought, okay, this is clearly outrageous. So it's a parody. But what's it a parody of? And it hadn't clicked that this CEO thing had gone as viral as it had. What? Come on, there's got to be. I want to do a link to it.
You can put the link in there yourself, you lazy bugger.
No, I'm trying to find it.
Oh, yeah, I also can't be able to do that. But yeah, to be fair, I'm just surprised that you haven't gone straight for the gold dig, which is how does it feel being the only person I know to have been laid off on average once a year?
That's true that my career has been fairly stable, where I've managed to I've actually made, like, when I want to leave, I say I'm going to leave and I'm going to go to another job. I gather you've not been so fortunate.
Well, to be fair, I haven't had to work for a land of toxicity like you have. I've been in great places where poor things have happened, and then you've just been swimming through a shitstorm.
I'm going to be
3 times.
I'm going to be diplomatic about things here and just say, I mean, to be fair, I'm writing a careers talk to give at the moment, and The careers talk is, I think the provisional title is I experienced employer red flags, so you don't have to.
Oh, I'm going to be in the back of that talk, by the way. There will be active heckling.
I'm doing research at the moment by trying to get everyone's worst employment stories. So if you have any, please send. There are lots of them, but some toxic workplaces in tech. I hear there's plenty of them, and I experience some. It's for junior developers of trying to steer them so that they don't leave tech kind of immediately because it's some sort of dreadful place.
Exit stage.
When I was talking about what this led me onto I'm going to go a tangent that you didn't expect is which means that I get to do like a little. I've got to find it. I get a little story time. So I was talking to we met a mate of ours, Luke Brown, who runs the JavaScript group in Birmingham, and it suddenly reminded me of this kind of meme culture of things going out, of people posting like total nonsense on things like LinkedIn, of the account, Twitter account that I only discovered in about May of this year, and it's the Didn't Happen of the Year awards.
Pardon?
Have you never come across this? Okay, I need to prepare myself because I haven't actually done some. I'm a bit of a sort of useless and all over the place. So there's a Twitter account, and there we go. And it's for all of those. A beautiful collection of all of those things where people post. The reason why I came across it was Peter Bone, a British MP, said it was on Twitter, and he said, "I don't understand why people are jumping on the Prime Minister's back. I was sitting outside in a cafe in my constituency in some posh place, and do you know what? A constituent came up to me and said, 'Do you know what, Peter? I think that Boris Johnson is doing a fantastic job,' and blah." And the replies are all, "Come on, Peter. This didn't happen.
I think even I jumped on
this
that one.
I think you're lying here. This didn't happen, did it?"
Was this cafe a strip club?
We're not going to go into politics, but in general, I don't know. The current climate,
you lent into that. There's a warning in the script.
There is. Don't get onto it. So the Didn't Happen of the Year awards it's just for finding these gems of stuff that people come out with, and two of them. I'm going to find the one I want to, which is called the almonds.
The what?
The almonds story.
I'm going to drop the link into the account, which is _DHOTYA, I think.
I've got it. This is fantastic. It's from the look of the styling. It's from Facebook, and I'm going to read this post that someone put on Facebook that won. I think it won the award this year for the Didn't Happen of the Year awards.
Okay, curious and curiouser.
Today, I was eating almonds on a bench in the park, and a lady walked by and started yelling at me. Okay, we're not off to a good start here. Like, can I have some context? Or you should not be eating almonds. I have a severe allergy, and so does my son. You ready? Are you ready for it? Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep a straight face with this. Without saying anything, I calmly reached into my yellow purse and took out my essential oil blend. Then I stood up, still without saying anything, and injected her and her son with the blend, with the needle that I keep in my purse for situations like this. In brackets, it happens more often than you think. Then I gave her an almond and told her to eat it. After she finished, she told me that several doctors have prescribed her medication for her allergy and none of them actually worked, but mine did. She actually asked me if I was literally a doctor, and when I told her I wasn't, her jaw dropped. "You aren't?" "Nope," I said smugly. So today, not only did I get a new customer for my blend, but I also got £100 as an apology for her bothering me. She also asked for the rest of the bag of almonds.
Just to correct you on one thing, that was a champion for 2021. 2022 has still not been selected yet.
Oh, okay. I look forward to stuff that shit posts on Twitter, on LinkedIn and Facebook. I remember reading this and just thinking, I cannot believe you have. I can't believe you've put this out and you expect people to. I calmly took out a needle and injected you and your son with my blend.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like the beginning of some sort of fan fiction from somewhere deep in the dark web, doesn't it?
Yes, very much so. I'm definitely gonna read. Not that I read much. I tell you what, I remember years ago reading some Harry Potter fan fiction, and that's wild. There's some real out there stuff.
There's some dark places on the internet for a reason.
Yeah, I don't think I have the time to investigate them all now. But
I don't want that stuff in my house with my children.
Anyway, there we go. There was my ridiculous tangent. I think you should pick the next topic.
I picked the first one, mate. But oh, sure. Oh, crap. Okay, I'm going to pick the one that I picked because I realized we haven't talked about that one. It's kind of a relatively big deal. DigitalOcean buying CSS tricks. Admittedly, this happened back in March. I didn't find out until July. Mainly because I can't front end for shit, so I don't actually look at CSS tricks that often.
I did. I went to mentor at Code Bar yesterday, and one of the students was specifically doing building blocks on purpose for HTML and CSS. Realized that I don't think I can. I managed to gradually work out how a gradient works. Just using linear gradient.
Oh, I was about to say, in general or just in CSS?
I've got good experience with gradients with the paint tool back in the Mac ClarisWorks. That's what it was. I used ClarisWorks.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you born before 1999, that is a old man reference.
But do you know what it is?
Yes.
You see, you know what it is. They made it briefly AppleWorks, and now I don't know. So that's quite. Where are they going with this?
Right. So
why have they bought them?
We're all aware that for most open learning things to exist, there has to be some amount of money there to keep it going. GitHub exists because Microsoft shoved a buck ton of money up its arse, and it's now alive, and they're able to keep a lot more, physically have more disk drive space for more free things. Fantastic, wonderful. But what happens when they just decide to do a Google and go, it's not making a penny, let's kill it? It's the reason why I brought it up, is what happens if this gets Googled?
What's the name of that website again?
Oh, the Graveyard. Killed by Google. Yeah. Just wow, I think there's more dead Google products than there are live ones at this point.
But, if you create a product like that, you don't care. Your bank account's going ching, ching, ching.
But so how many times have you, earlier on in your career, gone to W3 schools, the Mosdocs, or, the Mosdocs are a different thing because that's actually owned by a foundation and they're pretty safe, or CSS tricks to actually copy and paste some stuff you need to do in a Blade template back into D.
Well, it started using Symfony first, so that's the templating engine's the wrong way around.
Sorry, in a Twig template.
Templating engine. What's that? It's basically a mustache.
But yeah, so what happens when they just decide to kill it and all this free learning information just disappears?
That's raw. That's interesting. That is W3 Schools is still. Is it who owns it? It's a foundation that owns it, right? W3 Schools. Is it the World Wide Web Foundation?
No, that's W3C, not W3 Schools. W3 Schools is.
So it's got a foundation thing.
According to the footer of it,
it always feels. I started.
It's owned by ResNev Data.
Oh, I didn't realize it was owned by a private company like that. That shows my naivety. So,
but they are. ResNev is connected to a university learning environment, so they are relatively protected.
I know, but But there's all that stigma of like whenever I type in anything, it goes to on Google. Your first result is always W3 schools. Always scroll down to the Moz docs. You know what? Saying scroll down to the Moz docs has somehow triggered off my phone, which is now listening to me and thinks that I want to ask it something.
They're after us.
I think Mozilla are like, let's catch up with Google by like injecting some sort of worm into.
I think Mozilla are just trying to play catch up with Google because they suck.
Yeah, well, we covered that last time.
Yeah,
they did.
We've trolled on Mozilla a few times now. Just to be fair, even though
they've taken their flag.
They've deserved it. But yes, so what happens if DigitalOcean, so DigitalOcean is pretty developer friendly and pretty learner and hobbyist friendly. Their blog post is amazing for anybody of any skill level to learn how to do some relatively complex Linux stuff. But what if they just decide to kill it?
DigitalOcean PHP Land have got some really, really good tutorials for like Docker containers and things like that. When you want to spin up an Ubuntu box and you want like a Postgres kind of setup out of the box, they've been really, really good for that. Why would they? But CSS Tricks essentially is a learning resource. I mean, it's not going to cost them a lot of money to maintain.
No.
So why would they ever kill it?
Oh no, my brain just went straight to like, oh god, what if they Google this thing?
Mike the Doommonger.
At your service. I have a channel point redemption for this normally, which is just me saying I'm a miserable old man.
Yes, and a timely reminder for you and for all the audience that you are younger than me. You do remember this, right?
True, but because I'm several inches taller than you, people think you're a child.
That's no. Harking back to didn't happen, did it, Mike? No one, as I have been an adult, no one has mistaken me for a child.
No,
I'll admit I haven't been ID'd for alcohol as much as I would have liked, but I now am conceding I have grey hair, and they just stopped asking me.
It's fine. It just means you fit into the category of homunculus.
What's homunculus?
Perfectly formed miniature human.
What's that? I think we're straying away from PC lines here. What are you trying to say I'm a dwarf? Homunculus. Are you making words up? It's like that Blackadder episode where they make up words. Please accept my congratulations.
Homunculus is an actual term. It does stand for a perfectly formed miniature human. It was actually a term created by the church.
What do you mean that sounds like a video game baddie. Like any particular denomination of church?
Popiness and all that crap.
Just popes and things.
It's the reason why cherubs and unfortunately Jesus was always depicted before the Renaissance as a fully grown man, but about this tall.
I see where we're going with this. Man, religion is wild.
It's a good thing neither of us are religious.
We do. Well, I think personally that for Tech Off Topic, we're getting better at this because I'm looking at my screen and it is DigitalOcean's takeover of CSS Tricks. And we've ended up with tiny humans on the side of churches, and we've done a mission accomplished here. I think.
Achievement unlocked. Ultimate tangent.
I expect both of our screens to come up with a little Xbox symbol. Bing!
Jesus Christ!
We've covered that. So what's next on the list? Hopefully it'll be something that doesn't make me cry with laughter.
Your pick.
Come on, it's your turn. You have to take the pain. I'm gonna go for dropping things like so. Our developer advocate in JavaScript basically has made my job more difficult because the two things happened in PHP land, and they just happened, and I thought, I don't have time for more innovation. I don't want to pay attention to this. And then he tagged me on Twitter, and I just thought, please, don't give me more work with innovation. Right.
Oh God, I'm scared of which one this is.
Do you know you are a JS developer with microservices primarily? What is AstroJS? Because I don't know what it is.
AstroJS is a really nice framework for actually building websites in. So it's more opinion. So you know how React is not really a framework; it's just a library that you then still need a whole bunch of other things to glue together to make it do it.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. So, but Angular is a very much more opinionated framework, but it's a lot bulkier and bigger. It comes with all nuts and bolts built in.
That's why I like it.
because it comes with all the nuts and bolts. Unlike
It tells me how to do things.
Astro is slightly more like that, but it's still very, very early on in its life cycle. Like, I've seen very few people build Astro things in production, and it's existed in JavaScript for about a year or so. Somebody who knows frameworks more than me is, more likely to know this stuff. But yeah, it's a relatively new.
What is it? What as a JS is it front? Is it full stack?
I think it's a full stack
because I can see that there's sponsored things like Netlify, and I know that you deploy Netlify.
I do.
Is it Jamstacky?
I think it's a Jam. Like I've looked at it, I've installed it, but like as far as I can tell, it's just an alternative to Next.js.
Right.
So Next.js is just React with all the tooling to be able to run it as an actual server with things.
Right.
And as far as I can tell, Astro is the same thing where it builds on static assets and serves our website. And if you wanted to, you can just build out the static assets and dump it on GitHub pages if you're cheap like me.
Okay, cool. In that case, I can see on the document that you've highlighted the link, somebody has taken that and thought, you know what? It's back end that's like would be executing normally on lambdas within Netlify, I think, to build the back end or something.
No, it'd normally be done as a build step, and then the static assets are dumped in there, and then any dynamic content is then done as a lambda after the fact. It was an API call normally.
Okay, right. Yeah, someone's got PHP running in the back end.
Yeah, why?
Because why not?
But no. The only reason the things like Astro work with that whole API-derived functions slapped onto the side is because of certain pieces of tech like functions and lambdas. PHP is great. It's terrible at the same time. Sorry. Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen?
Mike Elsmore just said PHP is great.
Before I quit doing JS, I've been doing JS for longer than you have been doing up till now.
I think you've done more JS than I've had hot dinners, so I will concede defeat on that.
None of that's good though.
Well, the PHP you touched was probably terrible anyway.
That's just me as an engineer.
I'll give you due. It was because it was old school PHP, which was rubbish.
No, because I did some stuff in. No, it's all pre-7. Yeah, no, it's all terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. However, PHP is not really designed and never has been, and none of the VMs and everything around it, for running as fast microservices. So built as those functional blocks. Literally, the JIT engine and everything is not designed to do that. It's designed to be running a full routing engine and doing a full stack.
But if we go really bonkers, the fact that can we name drop the person that's actually done it, because they've got to take the credit for doing something that quite frankly is bonkers.
Yes.
Damn it! I didn't post the. I didn't get the link. I've got the link to the link to the actual
the running code
VS Code instance that you can actually look at it and watch it happening in action. But what I would say is that recent benchmarks with PHP 8 and React PHP, and if anyone doesn't know what that is PHP running with an event loop that makes it very notable.
But it still isn't part of core PHP, so you can't really count it for production.
The fibers part of it that it runs on is now part of core PHP.
This is like bloody PHP Ratchet from 2012.
All I'm just saying is that if you look at benchmarks now, it's like starting to contend with Node. I mean, it's blown out like it's blown like Python and stuff out there.
I was about to say, like, Node only works when it's a single job process. If you try running, say, a full flat Node instance as an actual application, PHP nukes it out the high water.
Oh yeah,
because the scheduler
use the right tool for the right job, right?
Yeah.
So with that in mind, coupled with like actually microservicing PHP and throwing it into Astro, I mean, is that like bonkers? I mean, should it happen? No. But your scientists were so preoccupied about whether
we said this last podcast.
No, this is too pop. I use this Jurassic Park quote far more than I should.
Oh, Jeff Goldblum.
There you go. The actor, the legend who can play such variety of characters as Jeff Goldblum.
No. He plays other characters.
As Jeff Goldblum.
We have curly Jeff Goldblum and your hot grandpa.
Your hot grandpa? Where's this come from?
Jeff Goldblum in the last 5 to 10 years. He's just an attractive grandpa.
Is this like a polled kind of? Have you got research facts for this that generally he's regarded as a hot grandpa?
If you ask chat, is modern Jeff Goldblum hot grandpa?
Is this one of these things? Is this like this sort of this gross kind of silver fox thing?
The one thing I wish to be if I wasn't fat.
Is that like the George Clooney? So I totally glossed off. Glossed off the fact.
Process it. It's like fuck.
So yeah, so we're saying like, okay, Mike's throwing body image into it, and like, okay, look, it's fine. I'm not going to say you're not fat, and etc. etc.
I'm fat. I look like I ate me 10 years ago. Anyway, chat agrees with me. Let's move on. But that's an amazing quote.
So the hot like this hot old dilf type thing.
Yes.
I did work with an IT manager bloke. He was a really nice guy in a job many years ago. And the first thing that he said was, "I like him. He's a dilf." And I thought that was a beer after work, and the first thing that came out of their mouths.
Campaign amp?
I'm not going to name names. It wasn't campaign amp, but
I know. I was just trying to give the period of your career.
About 2009. Yeah, around about then.
All right.
So Campaign Amp, fantastic company that I worked for. That sadly, COVID nailed them.
I applied to be their developer evangelist a long time ago. I'm quite glad I didn't stay there. Yes,
they needed your skill set and not the person that they ended up getting, which was someone in marketing. And if you want to appeal to, although to be fair to their decision, you didn't know much about the music industry, and there needed to be a lot of that.
The difference is that stuff I could learn on top of it without having to retrain my entire career base.
Learning about the underlings of the music industry, it's a very strange place.
The dark corners.
There are lots of strange kind of licenses.
Universal Music's licensing program.
Actually, when you say that, I wasn't far away from. I
invoke the madness.
I mentioned on Twitter after the Commonwealth Games that I was going to buy. I was talking to. Oh no, I did this last time. I'm not.
We are truly on a massive tangential episode today.
Yes, well, isn't that? I decided in my brain. I thought I'm going to really go off topic as much as possible. Do you hear me saying that's a bad thing? It's just like normally we're like next topic, and it's like nope. We just gone to a weird direction. Flowing.
So we've had homunculus, hot grandpa.
Doing well, the way a podcast should be.
I am going to raise up the next one, and it's purely because of something that literally scares the bejesus out of me.
This is the one where I said I wanted to take it off because it mentions my company's chief competitor.
No. That one actually is a good product, so I'm okay with that. And you should also be fair to the competition when they do good work.
I mean. It's no such a big secret that if our chief competitor releases a product, it's very much one-on-one. It's like if it's not there, then it'll be worked on. If it is there, then that's how you expect it.
No, it's PHP Edge. WASM on PHP.
Oh, I didn't realize this would scare you. Okay, so
I've worked with WASM
I know nothing about WebAssembly.
Right, WebAssembly itself. If you are a smart cookie. And you can do that stuff. You know what? Yes, because like the access to doing things on the actual GPU and stuff. If you actually want to do that, yes.
I asked this last time, just for clarification, because I don't want to do this assumed knowledge thing.
Yeah,
I'm doing because I don't know much about. I know in theory what WebAssembly is, but what is it? So in your browser, it compiles stuff on your browser to machine code, and therefore it's like highly optimized.
Okay,
I'm going to
read the literal destruction. dark corners of the music industry. D12, destroy. I don't know why I did a D&D
Why
reference there.
D12? You were thinking of Eminem's lived the ones that did Purple Pills, which is really dreadful.
His rap gang that.
It's like such a great white boy thing to say. What do you call it? It sounds like my dad. His rap gang. The posse of rude boys.
The only posse I legitimately like involves clowns.
Not the insane clown posse.
Yes, that's the one.
They were rubbish.
You were rubbish. Anyway, WebAssembly.
Your mum. Right. Sorry. WebAssembly is more important here.
No. I just want to get to the definition so I can close the window again. Because I want to read the So it's WebAssembly, abbreviated as WASM, is a binary instruction format for a stack-based virtual machine. WASM is designed as a portable compilation target for programming languages, enabling deployment on the web for client and server applications. Essentially, think of it as a universal language compile version. What Java was meant to be before it became the dick that it is.
Okay, I'm with it.
We had the Java stacklets that you can inject into stuff and would run on the web, and then you had Java apps, and it was using the whole compiled language.
Point of what they were trying to do with JVM, which was like compile natively.
Rather than having to then spend 15 years learning the witchcraft of JVM tuning to run it as a server.
I don't know about that, but you sound angry about it. Was it bad?
Oh, I failed Java 3 years in a row at university, and I've never been able to get along with it since. And every time I've been forced to do it with a job, it just makes me want to punch people.
This just, when you get like clips of Family Guy or The Simpsons, when like the brain just goes and there's a monkey like clashing a cymbal in his head. That's what's just happened. I've just tuned out. Java 3 with sausages, and I'm just there going, do you know what? I really like the view from here.
It's actually a nice view.
Sorry, crack on. I do get, but I do get the actual the concept is.
So the concept is it's meant to be a universal. Awesome. So you can put it into a web browser, and it will have lower level access to bindings than JavaScript does, because it's an actual binary that's injected into there. Right. That's about all I've ever used it for. I've only ever used it in one of my jobs. We had a Rust application that stood up its own web server serving JavaScript. So to make life easier, we used WASM to do that. I also thought that was over-engineering, but that's just me.
Most of my days, whenever I speak to any of my mates, are basically stories of over-engineering. So I heard a horror story just before this about over-engineering. We love it. I used to have like really bad imposter syndrome about the fact that I just thought, well, I'm just learning these like monoliths of PHP with JavaScript sprinkled over the top, and I feel like I'm a dinosaur.
You're old.
As I'm getting more and more like experience, I just think, do you know what? Don't feel so bad about this when you're trying to do concepts of over-engineering the way that they're going. But so WASM.
So my fear with WASM on PHP is the fact that it's going to allow people to do some really, really, really hokey things in a language that isn't meant to do it. The best languages for WASM are ones that do concurrency well and multi-threading, which is not PHP. And that scares a living bejesus out of me.
So, if Laurent Tan is listening to this sneak, like, good news, your work is about to explode. You got the PHP, the CVE code. Hey, here are some target vectors you never thought were going to be possible that have now been created. PHP on WASM.
Well, it's WASM on PHP.
If you drop the link in for this?
No, but I can.
What it actually is, because we haven't actually said what it is.
So it's PHP Edge. So it's the repo is PHP Edge, and it's running PHP on Edge functions. So is that when it's
Netlify Edge?
Netlify Edge.
So that everyone knows.
Just as an FYI, I don't like Netlify functions. I think they're terrible.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care.
Oh God, no! This is worse than what I thought it was originally.
Oh, good. I like to see you stressed out. What's stressing you out?
So I thought it was originally WASM on PHP, so using PHP as the compile time to run it. Hence, my brain was going, "That's really bad. PHP is not designed for multi-threaded workloads. No, this is the other way around. This is running PHP inside a WASM on other stuff."
That sounds awesome.
That sounds terrifying.
I love it. I love it.
But that's how they're solving the whole multi-threading thing. They're not, because they're just using a single thread PHP. Fudge me.
Which is how all of the concurrency and fibers and stuff. Because the fiber stuff in PHP is not actually it's not actual true concurrency at all. It still spins up threads to deal with it. It's coroutines.
It's coroutines.
Where it's just actually allocating CPU time.
It's like thinking about JavaScript. JavaScript's multi-thread. No. It's just on an event loop, and it just happens to run the event loop really bloody quick. Yeah. It's not actually multi-threaded. It just throws shit at the wall and see what sticks.
Oh, great! I love the why is the example running PHP 7.4? That's quite old. I love the you know when you got this kind of image of well-oiled corporate machines
yes.
Of like, well, I bet when it comes to Oracle Cloud, they must have the best of the business running that. They must be amazing. They must have engineers that. What you just said that smells of that, which is nobody knows what they're doing. It's all a load of bollocks. it's absolute rubbish. There's like an Excel spreadsheet somewhere that has like config options that gets pulled in by somewhere, and you know that it's actually happening, even though it should. It definitely shouldn't happen, but it does. And someone says, "Can we please not do the thing?" And they're like, "We have never tried not doing the thing." Don't touch that.
Who told you to do this? Somebody in a committee months ago decided, and they quit afterwards.
Oh yeah, design by committee. That a good design by committee example is we can't see it from the view out here. There's a building that was sort of out that way, and when I was growing up, we kind of called it the Lego building, and it was just so you know, no one listening is going to care, but for reference for you, it's the building where the Octagon's going to be in Birmingham City Centre. The Octagon is putting up a big thing. Okay, never mind. But it looked like a weird Lego building where none of the building made sense. Like the whole shape of it. It was built in the mid 80s, I think. None of it made sense. And I never thought about it until it started being pulled down to make way for another building. And I was on this forum called Skyscraper News, I think is the forum. And you get a lot of people that are sort of in the know in architecture and like urban planning and stuff like that. And they said, like, this is a classic example of design by committee. This building is designed by committee. And then I realized, like, oh, there's loads of parallels with tech here. This is exactly the same. It was known as the Mullet Building because it was like, it was brick. And then it had the 80s long glass windows, which didn't really work with it. And then for some reason, the lift shaft and all of that was on the outside, like the sort of the Lloyd's building in London, but was completely in grey, and it was in like some sort of fiberglass thing.
Why does that
so it looked like a giant mullet?
Why does that sound like the Wesleyan building?
A bit, actually, sort of similar to that. So you know that what's happened in reality in designing that building is 20 people got around a conference table and just went, no, all the cooks around the broth going, no. Can we do this? Yes, okay. And then you end up with just like, a sort of a hideous gruffalo of a building.
I have a better explanation for this. Somebody in the committee is like, there's the architect building, serious building, corporate, blah, blah, blah. You've just got the intern in the corner going, but you know what? It's going to be fun at the weekends. Mullet!
Straight out the window. Smash! Designed by. Have you got any design by? Have you got any tech? Actually, it'd be funnier if it was not tech. Have you got any non-tech designed by committee examples? Because designed by committee is hilarious.
No, they're all tech-based for me. Unfortunately.
Damn! It's so funny when you see
mainly because the only thing that would have worked would have been hack fronts, at which point I had the benevolent dictating committee. At which point everybody got to have a say, and then I get to tell them to bugger off, and it was my choice.
So Python basically,
Yeah, that's what Guido is good for.
I know. I'm not.
Was good for.
I'm not. But how long has he not been on?
Didn't he step back from the board like 2 years ago? Just before the pandemic?
I know. Clearly, I know nothing. I didn't know he'd stepped down. So who makes the decisions in Python?
I think it's a committee.
Uh-oh.
I may be wrong, but I swear to God, I remember reading something about Guido going, I need to take some time and like stepping back. Doing what Linus Torvald should have done about 10 years ago.
So, I was about to do a parallel there, but then you threw Linus in. So
I normally do, but usually it's Linus Sebastian, not Torvald.
The PHP I can't digest that, so I'm not going to. The PHP Foundation is exactly the same thing, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
We have designed by committee now in PHP. Let the fires burn.
That's just PHP.
No, I'm not going to let you have that.
12 years of PHP 4 through to 7.
Terrible times for programming languages. Is there anything left on the list? Oh no.
Yeah, there's only one left. Unless chat, feel free to throw in comments for me and Jim to go exceedingly tangential on.
Is anybody? Oh, no, yeah, like if you feel free to completely take it up. Has anyone actually posted anything yet, or is anyone just being polite and silent?
Yeah, there's the traditional amount of shit posting. We even have a new software engineer in there. The
traditional amount of shit posting. I like that.
You've been in my streams before. You know what it's like.
Oh yeah, no. I also considering the last topic involves our chief competitor Twilio. I've been on Gary Hokin's live stream many times and generally kind of shit posts, and he sort of knows that I do it.
Jolly does it as well, but he just happens to be family friendly at the same time.
He's actually done that. I think that Michael Jolly has done that to me. Possibly
trolled you.
Yeah, but trolled me within someone else's Twitch.
Oh, 100%. Probably on mine.
But actually, I'm doing a top secret project. Not top secret at all. I'm doing a top secret project. Top men. I'm doing a top secret project that involves Deepgram at the moment. So I am talking to Michael at the moment, and he's kind of helping out, which is kind of cool.
Oh, he's a legend.
Because he's bald, he's bearded, he does code. What's not to like?
Anyway, there's the final point, and as a good citizen of the developer relations space.
No, you're gonna. Okay, go on then.
I bought the last one. You're gonna have to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a sign of a good developer relations person in the fact they can talk about the competitor without being a knob.
I don't. It was posted. It was. They've just launched this. So Twilio have launched a new project, and the only reason I put it in there is because I haven't read about it and I don't really understand it. It's silent authentication.
I kind of like the idea of this.
What is it? I'm going to read whilst if you have more of a kind of grok of it. Okay, so silent network authentication is a form of secure consumer authentication to protect end users, accounts, and transactions without requiring users to wait or leave your app.
Mm-hmm.
It uses carrier connections to verify possession of a phone number in the background without requiring user input.
This sounds like a better idea than OTP. Because we all know, anybody who's worked around software long enough, for those of you who are not aware, just in case you are new to software engineering in some way or haven't done this, one-time passwords, OTPs, are everywhere. We're used to them with multi-factor authentication, YubiKeys, Authy, the app, also owned by Twilio, and many other ways of doing it. However, text-based one-time passwords are terrible. They're easy to forge. They're easy to intercept. because unfortunately they go through an open connection from A to B. This sounds like a good way of being able to have that device, but because it's integrating with a carrier rather than the end user, it's more foolproof. That actually sounds like a decent bit of tech.
But like everything, in order to get, when we start layering security like this, at some stage at the bottom of the requirements pile, there is somewhere sitting a one-time text password somewhere.
Oh, there will be a single use, but it's higher in the stack in a more controlled environment without going out to, a spoofed Android device or a multi-user WhatsApp account.
Why would something like this, because I haven't still properly to the grot here. Why would a silent authentication system like this? What's the difference, and how is it relevant to
the only reason I'm saying
stuff?
it's an improvement is the fact that it's actually going. So in the vast majority of countries, to get a phone contract or access to a phone, you actually have to go through ID verification, etc., to prove you are the owner of it. In most countries, this is for terrorism and crime reasons. It's the reason why burner phones are so much harder to get than they were in the 90s. Well, the 90s and very early noughties.
Okay. When you're talking about the application process, are you talking about the actual, like the know your customer type
taking
stuff?
In your passport and actually verifying you are the person you say you are. So then going through a silent process with the carrier is going, oi mate, this bugger actually give you the information. Are they legit?
Okay, so I did not expect this to kind of.
At least that's what I'm getting from reading it. By the way,
it's interesting for me because this starts to sort of verge on the areas of my knowledge of the industry that I actually do know about because of the credit reference agencies and bureaus and things like that. So
it's doing the verification process all in the background without having to send you the thing and go, oh, you are the person who originally had that phone number.
This is quite interesting but that means that both Vonage itself, my employer, and then Twilio, but are both knocking on the door of the places like Equifax and Experian and
Experian. How do you know this person? Well, their account numbers are all this, and their old addresses from 15 years ago.
Why did Experian talk like that?
I really wish they did though.
Well, like all good call centers, they need to be Geordie. But actually, wasn't there a reason why someone like GiftGaff or they chose Geordie as the accent because it was like the least offensive accent that didn't like people. I tell you what, you've got no money left, but good news, you can top up now. And they're like, okay. I didn't think that was the case. I thought that I had £100 in my account, but also you're a Geordie, so it sounds great.
Would you rather have that or a very aggressive Northern German? No, nein, you cannot. It's like, sorry.
You're first up of your account now. Okay, fine.
Either that, or would you like a yam yam where it takes about 15 years to read out one sentence?
Is that yam yam? I think that's more Brummy. Yam yam is sharper, isn't it?
Well, it's all slow to me.
Or sort of or skirting around the point like Italian.
Oh, God.
Hello, I'm going to talk to you. It's okay, everything's fine, but your credit balance is kind of low. So, what you want to do is a code is a number. I'm sort of going to Greek now. This is all over the place. I didn't pursue the acting career after I graduated from university properly, which is why it's now all sort of ropey. Now I'm basically just David Brent.
I'm losing my shit.
Like
I'm broken.
What's some MC Hammer shit?
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a rendition of Jim's wedding party.
I was more. I was quite dignified in my wedding. I think.
I was not.
I was not. I'm not sure. I'm just going to say that, and no one really cares whether that's true or not.
We've officially been just given multiple messages via many means. Keep going. This is funny. Oh, we are terrible humans.
This is funny. The really bad news is we're actually over time for booking this meeting room.
That's because we went to the pub first.
Well, yes, but also, am I going to get a knock on the door? Not sure. Now we're being sort of like tech punks because we're breaking the rules.
Yeah, we can't get away with that. We're not Rob Spector.
Who's Rob Spector?
Oh God, you can tell he didn't. You can tell that Jim didn't get into DevRel until much later in the career. Rob Spector's one of the daddies.
This is such like, you don't need to know. You don't understand. If you'd been here long enough, if you'd have been doing this as long as I have,
in reality, actually, yes, because there were some very dark bits at the beginning.
I'm not sure you actually know this, but I'll just fill you in. Actually. Sorry, who's Rob
so
Spector?
you now own a Jag?
What?
Only Jag owners are talking at noise. The Jag. Oh, I'm going for a weekend drive in the Jag.
Who's that?
That's a Clarkson joke, mate.
Oh, Jeremy. I mean, I'm not going to know much about Jeremy Clarkson joke. What I will actually, I'm going to I'm sure I haven't done this. Like I was talking about the Office earlier, right? And I was talking about this another mate. So, for old the older millennial, like on the Gen X millennial kind of line, the Office itself, the UK one or the US one, is going to be like almost a sort of a historical artifact of how things used to be, and I think certainly for the UK one, it's just going to look like so alien and weird. And I was talking to this, I can't remember who I was talking to about it, but a lot of it sort of is so true in my experience that it's almost fascinating looking back on it that it tells their own jokes. So, so David Brent obviously I find cringe humor really, really difficult to deal with. You
find it hard to deal with. It's literally the definition of you.
I'm David Brent.
No, your cringe humor. I've listened to your introductions at Fusion.
Oh yes, that's true. Yeah, no, but that's dishing it out. It's fine. But when I have to listen to it, then it's a problem. It's very much like sort of say as I do and not do as I say. So I remember one of my first jobs was an office job, and it was a classic office job, and it was at Zurich Insurance in Birmingham on the Hagley Road, and the head of motor insurance claims that was the floor that I was on. He sat outside because he wanted to be with the people, and the deputy actually had his own office, but that was fine. He requested his own office, so it was the wrong way around, but it's fine. And his name, I don't know. I don't understand. And when you don't understand why your brain has remembered facts. His name was Chris Knowles. Why I've remembered the name from someone from a brief period of my life in 2002, I don't know. But his name was Chris Knowles. And when you're going to be told off, you had to go into the deputy's office, and it was his office. It's my office. And when you walked in, he was telling me off for something I hadn't done as a temp. So, I hadn't photocopied the bollocks correctly. Not absolute nonsense. But you couldn't not smile. You had to try and keep a straight face because he had a giant commissioned watercolor painting of his Jaguar with personalized number plates behind him. And you just thought, like, I'm sorry. How do you want me to be serious here? I have no idea how I remember doing that.
There's much to unpack from that.
Like 3 or 4 stages of unpacking how we used to do things.
1, being told off in a side office. I usually just got told off in public.
Oh, well...
Toxic businesses.
Yeah, no, that's happened to me.
Yeah. The customized number plate. I'm sorry. If you're rich enough to own a customized number plate, you know what you should do with that money? Invest it. Your car is going to be no more important. And you know what? You drive by and people go, oh, look at that number plate. Fuck him.
Oh, this is very stonks talk. This is very like, do you know what? I can't believe you bought a personalized number plate. You know what you want to do, mate? You know, there's this new coin, and like, it's not, no, honestly, it's not like Ethereum. It's by this new like venture capitalist firm that have created sausage coin. I don't know why. I don't know. Give me a name. You want to do smart investments, mate?
Somebody has just made in chat, and it made me die inside just a little bit. Somebody just said, "Sounds like Pack Publishing."
Is it Aaron Bassett?
Why would Aaron Bassett say that?
Okay, revealed too much there. I think he talked to Pact once.
No, I know. I'm aware. I used to work with Aaron at Pact.
Oh, okay. No. Aaron Bassett, not William.
Oh, yeah. No, Aaron Bassett also. That's just because so
you love like your
Paul has that problem as well. To be honest,
you think what? It's not much of a secret anymore. Not even that controversial. But it seems like Pact as a company is not a great company to work with.
No, but it's just a case of like, this sounds like Pact. It's like, yeah, he's not wrong.
No, I want to know who that is now. You're not wrong.
Somebody who's oddly enough not from Birmingham.
No, I know. Pact is a global.
No, it's not. It's in India.
That's global, isn't it?
Oh, and Canada now.
Yes. What do you mean? They have one developer advocate in Canada, and then
they hired one editor in Canada.
Okay. I feel like I'm dumping on a company I don't have any experience with and don't know anybody.
Yeah, you do. Me.
Apart from you, this is you own this dunking.
Splash. Anyway,
new word of the day.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna force us to stop.
We should. You should probably stop.
We should stop.
It's not gonna. That reminds me of that. It's not gonna happen. We've gone over time, which is fun. I have stopped caring about the agenda, which either is very. I don't know what we do here, and I don't know why people watch. I don't know if people actually find this interesting or whether it's actually, like whether this is entertaining. Because I'm basically just a meat bag that spouts rubbish. So.
Yeah, people do watch. There are listening stats on everything. So, yeah, I can tell you that later. I'm not doing it on public because I'll be embarrassed. Let's put it this way. The most popular episode didn't involve you.
No. So, sorry. Oh, did or didn't?
Did not.
Oh, okay. So, but you need to bin me, right?
I've been saying that for most of the last few years. Anyway.
Sad. Actually, it's my crying CEO moment. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my. I didn't think this was going to have to be something I would ever have to admit to or say, but I'm being let go from Tech Off Topic.
Hang on. To be fair, you also quit months ago.
I didn't quit. I had. Was it children's?
No, it was because certain company wouldn't let you carry on doing it.
Oh, okay. Yes.
But we're not trying to be mean to that company because that company in general is quite nice. So we're not naming that country.
What it was I didn't have time to do it. That's
correct,
the easiest way of doing it.
But no, there is a thing that we should do before we sign off and let people have the rest of their
lives.
Oh,
we need to do promo.
Yeah, we do. Now, the question is, good sir, do we promo that entire list that was in the TechMid Slack? Or just the two that I've listed?
I think for the conference, so for anyone that was listening last week, we were saying, hey, TechMids is happening. It's a Midlands conference that is going to be hybrid, so it's going to be streamed online, but also it is in person, which is quite cool in a very, very cool venue in Birmingham. Come to Birmingham in the UK. It's not rubbish because the Commonwealth Games has just happened. And we've realised that we can all throw a party.
Yeah, and because colonialism is great.
And it's actually, let's not get into it. And we did this last time. Let's not get into the empire past bit. We're past that. hopefully. Although Theresa May and her handling of Windrush probably doesn't say.
Oh, that's fine. She's just going back to the Falklands.
But anyway, what I mean is we can throw a party.
Yes.
And
we do have our allotment of constitutional alcoholics.
The start of this, the start of all of this for the Seeds was written by a man called John Bounds, who created a book called Birmingham It's Not Shit, which is great.
I need to get my hands on that book.
But there's a website for it. But anyway, TechMid's conference, which is a one-day track conference, have started announcing some of their speakers, and it is a really cracking lineup.
It's also a very mixed lineup, so there is going to be something for nearly everybody.
Yeah, it's like
the
topics are all. It really is kind of like roll.
It's a proper poly event.
But I like that though.
Then why did you only come to one Hackference?
Because I've only known you for one Hackference. That's why.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now know that Jim is not good enough.
I don't even. That's unnecessary sledging.
Your entire development career, there was a Hackference to begin with.
Yes, that's true.
Yep. There we go. Anyway, moving on. It's got a really, really diverse set of topics. I believe there's everything from Kubernetes and like full-on back-end DevOpsy stuff to career and diversity and like increasing the amount of people within software engineering as a whole. Like it's a wide ass spectrum.
What have we got? So I would scroll down. So we've got from in reverse order from the announcing Piper Bates, and Piper Bates was in the boot camp.
She was boot camp one.
It was
like they were boot camp one.
Was it boot camp one? It was.
Yep.
What was it?
I don't know. Either boot camp 1 or 2.
I thought it was. I thought it was one of the later ones because it was one of those whole Jump 24 like the whole company.
No, it was brought in because Chris Miller, who was originally a boot camper, joined in later, and that was.
Okay.
No, I think you're right. I think it may have been 2 or 3 because I hired from 1, mentored 2, skipped 3.
This is boring for everyone.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
So yes, diversity in tech from Piper. I thought actually it was part of the cohort that Jump 24 as an entire company kind of mentor, which is really cool. Carly's going to be really, really cool. That's monitoring digital experience to determine feature effectiveness.
I'm scared of that talk.
That's like there's going to be too many shrewds in that one.
Well, no, it's more a case of that harks back to my days devrelling for Logs.io.
That's how you feel about the former employer is up to you.
No, it's not my former employer, it's her current employer, and the fact they were shit with licensing of open source software.
I'm diplomatic with these things, and Mike just doesn't care. So the next one is Canal, who I think is moving to the UK because of the mentorship, possibly by Tom Withers and Alistair. I think.
Yes, but is not coming to Birmingham.
No, but we'll sort that out. Moving to London.
I'm coming because of the Brummies, but Birmingham. Ew.
I wouldn't want to go there. That's full of crime and also there's no money there, none of which is true. Anyway, that's scaling communities to be more inclusive, which is going to be quite cool.
Yeah.
Becky Pawley. Lost in the cloud, shifting to DevOps.
You don't have to read out the entire
I'm talking about the
speakers, with which, yeah.
Jess Rose, does Jess Rose need any introduction? Probably not. Scaling beyond code. What else have we got? Ollie Stevenson developing design systems. That's going to be interesting. So there's it's a bit of everything, isn't it? That's going to be sort of super cool. So I'm quite hyped to that. I am signed up to be a volunteer.
Good for you.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
I've already put my hat in to be MC.
Oh, okay.
Before you did it.
I was never going to be MC for that. Like, anyway, this is like a sort of I don't know. This is all like I feel with like this is the problem we've got with our format is like when we start descending into in jokes that nobody else is going to get at all.
To be fair, okay. So just to give everybody else the last of the details, it's October 14th. It's in Birmingham at Millennium Point, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So if you want to be in person, it's going to be at Millennium Point. Otherwise, it will be on, I believe it's going to be on YouTube.
I didn't know what channel it was going to be.
However, the details of which exact location it's going to be streamed to are yet to be decided.
Yes, they're doing this on very short notice. It's quite a scramble.
So much so that I have been informed there are possible multiple tracks that they still haven't worked out if there's going to be multiple tracks.
I could not possibly comment on that of whether there's going to be surprise tracks. I don't know yet because we don't know yet. But also, it's free.
Oh, yeah. It's a full-day conference that's free.
It's free. It's world-class speakers. It's free. That's what's happening. I don't think that's been the sort of absorbing everything in the tech ecosystem. Is there like a what else is happening kind of locally to mention? I don't think there's.
You mean other than our stuff next month?
What's our stuff?
Fusion.
Oh yeah, we should probably promote our own event.
Hannah, if you're listening to this, I'm really sorry about Jim. I'll make up for it when he's not doing the MC this time.
My team always kind of prop me up because I'm useless. It's fine.
But yes, on the 29th of September, so before Birmingham Tech Week and before Tech Mids, there is going to be Fusion. So far, we have the wonderful White Panther, aka Salma, who is speaking. We also have we don't have those confirmed. I'm not going to say those before.
I'm going to suggest that I'm going to say we've got hopefully a docs writer.
We have hopefully one of the best docs writers in the world.
Yes, I would say that's true. We have actually we have a pick of one of the two best doc writers in the world, but getting through to them is quite difficult.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm hoping that one of them will reply.
And we have other people, but they have not confirmed, so I should keep my damn mouth shut.
There are the best way to describe it is there are some ambitious speakers for us to get, and we might get them.
So yes, feel free if you are going to be in the Birmingham area on Thursday, the 29th of September, come down to the studio and be part of the Fusion meetup. If not, you can stream it live as it has been for the last 2 years.
Courtesy of you.
So yeah. I should. We've been asked for links for it, but our glorious leader has not created the Eventbrite page yet. So I can't drop the link because our glorious leader Hannah. Sorry, Hannah, I'm going to rag on you now.
She's probably listening to this live as well. So probably going like, bloody hell! I hate Mike. He's such a faff sometimes.
Hannah is, shall we say, when it comes to organizing this thing, does not like doing things before everything is set. The problem is she has a bad habit of leaving it till like 2 weeks beforehand.
There's a second child in the mix, and as the owner of one child, which is getting older now, I can say that tech and children is a difficult work-life balance, and it's nice to work for somewhere where that is appreciated. Slight kind of like pimp for my company there. Vonage is really good at this, by the way.
I'm not going to say. But for people who are interested, I am just going to link to the actual Fusion events thing, so when people can find out for themselves later on. I will be pimping it out in my stream the moment we have more details, because that's what I do. Because Billy Big Balls over here.
Is that me? Is that me?
Oh, that's
Billy. I said Billy Big Balls. Are you calling me Billy Big Balls? Why are you Billy Big Balls then?
Because I'm kind of a big deal.
Oh, what's that from? I'm kind of a big deal.
I believe that's Anchorman.
Yes.
I've never actually seen the whole movie, so I couldn't comment. I
watched it. Not that. Sorry, technical topic. Can someone in chat make a note that we need to talk about Anchorman next time? kind of. And if you want to know what it wants to be discussed, I'll just throw like overrated. It was a bit average and pedestrian and crap. That will annoy people.
That's fine.
That's for next time.
That's fine. Let's just describe Will Ferrell's career.
Not gonna disagree with you.
Anyway, thank you very much, everybody who's tuned in. This will be published onto everyone's favorite podcast location if you want to listen to it. If you've missed any of it later by Monday, I've set myself a target of turning it around in less than 48 hours.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
but why make promises like sales? Isn't it? This API is going to be ready in a week. Did you ask the engineering about this?
Have you been talking to the product team at my place?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going. We're ending the podcast. I'm not going to let Mike. I'm actually stopping him from hurting himself by slating his own company.
But anyway, so thank you very much for everybody tuning in. This has been Tech Off Topic, and we'll see you again in 2 or so weeks.
See you again sometime. Hopefully the next one. Thank you very much for listening.